are back. This is the first show of the new year, Jody.
Oh, you beautiful people out there.
All right. As always, what we're going to do right now, we're going to play our intro video. That'll give everyone a chance to like, share, and comment. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review. We will be right back.
I must confess that that dream that I had that day has at many points turned into a nightmare. Now, the other thing that we've got to come to see now that many of us didn't see too well during the last 10 years, that is that racism
not guilty
is still alive in American society and much more widespread.
Broke his neck after Baltimore police.
A handful of protesters, a handful of criminals and thugs who...
Many in moments of anger, many in moments of deep bitterness, engage in riots. And as long as America postpones justice, we stand in the position of having these recurrences of violence and riots over and over again. Social justice and progress are the absolute guarantors of riot prevention.
Mr. Gray's death was a homicide.
The Negro was freed from the bondage of physical slavery.
The athletes marched onto a stage.
But at the same time, the nation refused to give him land to make that freedom meaningful. Freedom without land to cultivate. Freedom and famine at the same time.
And create jobs for our people.
The Negro is to be free. He must move down into the inner resources of his own soul and sign with a pen and ink of self-assertive manhood his own Emancipation Proclamation. But I want to get the language right tonight. I want to get the language so right that everybody here will cry out, yes, I'm black, I'm proud of it, I'm black and beautiful. Individually, we are poor when you compare us with white society in America. We are poor. Collectively, we are richer than all the nations in the world with the exception of 9. That's power right there if we know how to prove it. We begin the process of building a greater economic base. And at the same time, we are putting pressure where it really hurts. We don't have to argue with anybody. We just need to go around to these stores and to these massive industries in our country. Say, God sent us by here to say to you that you're not treating his children right. We come by here to ask you to make the first item on your agenda fair treatment where God's children are concerned. Now, if you're not prepared to do that, we do have an agenda that we must follow. Our agenda calls for withdrawing economic support from you. We mean business now, and we are determined to gain our rightful place in God's world.
Charge. Hey, we are back. Hey, that was kind of slick because we weren't on camera. Right, man. I tell you. Hey, listen, this is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review where we come to you live, streaming live from my branch library every Tuesday. Who am I? I'm Brother Washington Muhammad. What am I wearing? I was way out in the country today, so I got my flannel on today. I got kind of a gold knit cap, my glasses on, my beads, and as always, I'm dedicated to respecting, protecting, and defending all Black bodies, no matter the cost, no matter the gains or loss. I'm one of the co-founders of CSRN, along with Mike Leonardi and Jabril Bay. I got to check out Jabril. I've been seeing some of his Facebook posts. I'm like, ooh, all right.
Yeah,
well,
I heard he stopped by Kwanzaa.
All right. Hey, listen, I really want to get into Julian Mack today. We got him in the green room. I want to get into our mission statement because nothing's changed with CSRN, but everything is changing with CSRN, but nothing's changed. So if you could introduce yourself, get to our mission statement, then we're going to bring in Julian Mack. What do we call him? The revolutionary of light and love? It's something like that. Of course
Something
it
like
is.
that,
All right.
like that,
All right. So who are you? What are you wearing?
Hello, everybody. Jody J. Summers, child of the system, better known as Spoken Truth, the treasurer of this wonderful organization. And I want to say a happy new year to you, which I'm going to be doing probably until like August, because if I haven't seen you, it's a new year to me. It's a new year to you. And I'm glad that you made it with us. Thank you for always tuning in to season 4.
That's right.
I mean, I guess it would be more like season like 8 or 9, because most shows they do maybe a couple 50 shows and stuff.
Okay, all right.
We go all year round. In the next week or so, you'll see every single guest that we had live in studio. Unfortunately, we don't have the digital versions of those people. I'm not taking photos of the screen, but you'll see them as an appreciation for saying thank you for being here. Maybe you'll come on next year and looking for everybody else.
That's what's up.
For those of you out there listening, the reason why we describe ourselves, because we are not just our beautiful faces here on YouTube and Facebook and stuff like that, but we're also on Spotify. And during this time you could be traveling, so we want you paying attention to wherever is in front of you, not the phone or screen that's in front of you. So I am a big brown bear of a man that is covered in tattoos and crystals and stones and bones and artifacts from life and traveling, from people that I've met, people that's poured into me. And it reminds me that no matter where I go, I am never alone. I am wearing an Arts Commission shirt that says support your local artist, because as I've done with my life over the last decade, I've tried to do everything from film to poetry, illustrations, community boards, acting, even a little yoga and dance there at some point. I wasn't very good, so I hear too much of that.
I wanted to see that. All right.
But how do you get to that point? Because what we do, as you see on this wall right here behind us, we don't have our on-air sign. We got the place with the guns, kill, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, how do you still have a happy face after seeing so much tragedy online or in the news and stuff? We have a mission statement. We have boundaries and ways that we take our own personal safe spaces, because that's a big word just going around this year, but to keep us away from not cracking or destructing. Because before we got on the show, and he was just telling a friend that there are so many people that tried what we do and are not here.
That's right. It's hard, man.
And not just like they left
not easy
or stuff. They just stopped. They gave up. They stopped trying because they did not know how to balance this from your regular life.
From the life. Real life. For real. What do you mean for real life? Yeah. So, I mean, which it is. All right.
Involves a level of fearlessness that most people don't take with them to everywhere. You can't take fearlessness to your job.
No, you can't.
Hey, boss, you don't want to pay me?
Right.
Protest. You can't do that everywhere. So how we keep ourselves grounded is with a mission statement and
guiding principles. And today we're going to get into our mission statement. We're going to take a short break and come back with Julian Mack. He's been reading again. All right.
Reading again. That's dangerous.
That's right.
We said that's dangerous. So
that's what's up.
Let's begin peace. We are the Community Solidarity Response Network of Toledo, formed on November 25th, 2014. The day after it was announced that the killer, a Ferguson, Missouri police officer, Michael Brown, an unarmed teenager, would not be indicted, we bring awareness to the injustices experienced by Black men, women, and children who are disproportionately murdered, attacked, provoked, and harassed by law enforcement. Police brutality has to end. We bring awareness to the fact that most often, yes, most often, police brutality goes without consequence and accountability. Police impunity has to end. We utilize the tactics of protest, civil disobedience, event disruption, and citizen advocacy to give voice to those who are otherwise voiceless. We facilitate progressive, community-based events that help foster self-development, and we discuss measures to hold local leadership, yes, local leadership, accountable to their sworn duties, be they politician, clergy, law enforcement, educators, etc., etc. We want justice, equal justice under the law. We want justice applied equally to all, yes, all, regardless of class, creed, or color. For all lives to matter. Black lives, yes, Black lives must matter. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who's got, a holiday coming up.
That's right. And there's some things that we normally do on MLK Day, but there's some other stuff that's happening in the city that I want to talk to you about maybe later on that CSRN could get involved in. Hey, listen, let's take a short break. We're going to come back with Julian Mack. This is the CSRN podcast, a weekend review. We'll be right back.
Did you know addiction is a disease, not a moral dilemma? The opioid epidemic and substance use have a major impact on communities of color and many people's lives. The Joshua Treatment Center offers culturally relevant, inpatient, and outpatient behavioral health treatment and recovery support services to any Ohioan struggling with addiction, mental health, or finding sober, safe housing. We must recognize that treatment is available and accessible to all. If you are in need of treatment or want to find out more information, you can call 1-888-728-2713 to talk to someone or schedule an appointment.
All right, we are back. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review, our first of the year show. And who do we have? We have our brother Julian Mack, and as always, brother, we're pressed for time, but I do want to sort of kind of turn it over to you to do an intro. And what are we discussing today, brother?
Revolutionary greetings. And my name is Julian Mack, preferred gender pronouns he, him, and I am a revolutionary warrior of love and light. I come to you today because I've been in deep study, deep solitude as I deconstruct and reconstruct my inward life with the intentional purpose that the inward eventually becomes the outward, right? The one law of the universe is that to every action, there is an equal or greater reaction. And for so much of my life,
right.
And for so much of even this work, right, I thought that only applied to outward actions and the way that I move my body. Little did I know, and as I'm starting to realize now, and it's really the basis for this whole segment of the Inner Revolutionary, is that the universe has to react to those inward changes that we make as well. And
That's
so
right.
realizing that I am the one thing that I can control, I can change my mind more than anyone else's, deconstructing and reconstructing perhaps views and standpoints and perspectives on culture. And so I've been able to, I've been reading really like a madman as I've been healing, and my nervous system has been resetting in this place of solitude that I've been in on my healing journey. And so one of the books that I was able to read over the past month that I'd like to highlight today, and I'll be doing a little bit of this each week, highlighting a book
Oh, yes,
with
sir.
information that is very important. This is called Black Men, Obsolete, Single, Dangerous, The African American Family in Transition, Essays in Discovery, Solution, and Hope by Haki Majabuti.
I have that at home. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I'm going to be reading, just darting around a little bit, and then I'm going to end with a solid definition of Black manhood. And I say that because it's important that I think it's important that we uphold and just plainly state what healthy Black manhood is, since there's so much discussion around toxic masculinity and that which is negative. I think it's important to combat that with a clear definition of what is positive, right? And
Hey, let's
so,
get into it.
all right, so I'm going to start off. Culture. All right, culture is a shared understanding, is a medium in which values are transmitted from generation to generation. It is generally accepted that human behavior can be systemically observed and that the variability of individuals is a result of inherited characteristics, biology, and life experience. Culture. A people's consciousness, the way they view and operate in the world, is shaped by their or another's culture. All the answers are not certain, but it seems that culture can disable and kill as develop and give life. The most prevailing consciousness among Black people today is one of survival. And this survival is not of elective nature, in which individuals, communities, and institutions work together to solve problems. Black survival, especially in urban areas, is more Darwinian, survival of the fittest attitude. Its proponents will use whatever means at their disposal to achieve their ends, regardless of the cost of pain to others. It has often been stated that Black people in America represent the revolutionary vanguard. Indeed, we may be a vanguard, but revolutionary we are not. That is, if I understand the concept of a revolutionary vanguard, a people who are bold and sophisticatedly violent while actively involved in replacing an unjust, corrupt system with one that is just and uncorruptible. So I'm going to describe just two different cultural mentalities that I think are very important, that of the survival mindset and that of the revolutionary
Yeah,
thriving
let's talk about
mindset.
it.
All right. The culture of survival dependency breeds people who would rather riot than plan progressive change or revolution. It develops people who react rather than act, beg rather than take, play rather than study, and follow rather than lead. Let's take a closer look at these two cultural mentalities. One, revolutionary or progressive mentality, is one that creates, builds, and works for the long term. Two, the riot mentality is one that seeks instant gratification and is more destructive than constructive. The revolutionary would take over a school system or build a school, whereas the rioter would burn the school down and give little thought to the results of that action. A few more examples of that would be organized and systemic effort versus unsystemic and definitely not organized. Not land conscious is a survival is a survival mindset, whereas land conscious, realizing that the only thing nobody is making more of is any more land, is
That's
key,
right.
right? Being disciplined, right? Strong, unyielding, and energetic versus a survival mind state that actively fights against discipline, right? Um, Fights revolutionary mindset would be fights against black on black crime and understands that its root is white on black crime. I'm going to say that one more time for the people in the back. Revolutionary mindset is one that fights against black on black crime and understands that its root is white on white crime. Whereas a survival mindset is that of one who is involved in black on black crime or is apathetic, really doesn't care very much about the issue,
Right.
right? One who is committed to black liberation on a local, national, and international level is that of a revolutionary, thriving mindset, whereas a survival mindset is committed to self liberation only, right? And like I said, this is directly talking about black men. So I'm going to end today with a direct toward a definition of black manhood. Black manhood. Your people come first. It's a quiet strength, the positioning of oneself so that observation comes before reaction, where study is preferred to the nightlife, where emotion is not seen as weakness, love for self, family, children, and extensions of self is beyond the verbal, making your life accessible to children in meaningful ways, able to recognize the war we are in and doing anything to take care of family so long as it doesn't harm or negatively affect other black people, willing to share resources to the maximum, willing to struggle unrelentingly against the evils of the world, especially evils that directly threaten the development of our people, to seek and to be that which is just, good, and correct, properly positioning oneself in the context of our people. A listener, a student, a historian, seeking hidden truths, one who develops leadership qualities and demands the same qualities of those who have been chosen to lead, sees material reward as a means towards an end, not the end themselves. Clean mentally, spiritual, and physically, protector of Black Week, one who respects elders, practical idealist, questioner of the universe and spirituality, in tune with the best of the universe, honest and trusting. Your word is your connector, direction giver, husband, sensitive to Black women's needs and aspirations, realizing that it is not necessary for them to completely absorb themselves into us, but that nothing separates the communication between us.
That's right.
A seeker of truth, a worker of the first order, teacher, example of what it is to be fighter, a builder with vision, connects land to liberation, a student of peace and war, statesman and warrior, one who is able to provide as well as receive, culturally sound, creative, a motivator and a stimulator of others, a lover of life and all that is beautiful, one who is constantly growing and one who learns from mistakes, a challenger of the known and of the unknown, the first to admit that he does not know as he seeks to find out, able to solicit the best out of self and others, soft, strong, not afraid to take the lead, creative father, organized and organizer, a brother to brothers, a brother to sisters, understanding, patient, a winner, maintainer of the I can, I must, and I will attitude towards the Black struggle in life, a builder of the necessary, always and always in the process of growth, and without a doubt, believes that our values and traditions are non-negotiable.
I feel like I should be snapping my fingers, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Hakeem Matabuti is a beautiful, beautiful scholar. Quite a few books we have of him, and he's definitely a role model to follow and to absorb a lot of that knowledge, brother. Great job, brother Julian. And listen, I know you have to go. However, for 2024, look, what can we look forward to seeing Julian Mack doing, staying, and experiencing?
I'm gonna put it this way, man. I'm gonna follow the lead of brother Cat Williams, who got this year popped off to a truthful start already. Right, I'm re-examining, right, objective truth, right, objective truth, right. We all have individual truths that are subjective, right, and those are valid and should be respected. And also, we must understand and realize there is objective truth, right? The truth that sets you free, the truth that breaks the mental chains that can keep us locked in boxes that lead to disease. All right.
All right.
So
Well,
I will continue to seek truth,
well, yes,
and
sir.
you'll see me speak and try to embody truth as my relationship with truth. Um, I can see with it's changing and morphing as the truth changes and morphs me inwardly to the outwardly.
Well, welcome to the club, brother. Hey, listen, we're going to take a short break. We're coming back with our brother Rashid Spencer, head of the Toledo Kwanzaa House. Thank you, brother. And we'll be talking soon. This is the Toledo Kwanzaa House. All right. Hey, we'll be right back.
CSRN week.
Hey, okay. All right. Whatever.
Now you can get the same uncompromising truth you've come to expect from the Final Call newspaper on all your connected devices. Subscribe to the Final Call digital edition today. Go to subscribe.finalcalldigital.com.
Hey, I'm Dr. P. Not only am I a leadership coach, I'm a change agent, and I'm a race scholar. I've used my study of race to dismantle systems and organizations, but I also use that to help you as the individual become a better leader for your families and for your community.
All right, we are back. This is the CSRN podcast, or our weekend review, where we come to you live, streaming live from Mott Branch Library. And as always, the staff of Mott, they roll out the red, black, and green carpet just like the Frederick Douglass does. And as always, whenever we have our guest here, well, he's really no more a guest. He's really a part of all of this. We have our brother here. If you could introduce yourself, who you are, and what are you wearing, and what are we talking about today?
Well, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Rashid Spencer. I am one of the executive directors of the Toledo Kwanzaa House Association. What am I wearing today? I put on a red turtleneck, a red and white polka dot flower from none other than Mr. Henry Triplett himself.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And some red ruby slippers. I don't know, should I take them off and show them?
You could. Hey, we might get some more viewers.
Hey, this might.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
Oh, man. Okay.
So I can click my heels 3 times and I'll be on Vance.
Yes, sir. It's me. Right. I guess they run the same way. All right. Hey, it is what it is. Hey, listen, I had the pleasure of celebrating Kwanzaa this year with the Toledo Kwanzaa House.
Yeah.
And we had a change in leadership, and you said you were you were really the point person now. And I wanted to ask you if you could just give us a recap. What was it like organizing and leading all 7 days? What was that like to you?
Well, for me, leading those 7 days was a learning curve for me. That was on the job. I really say it's on the job training.
Yes, sir.
Only because when I was told that I would be receiving this position, I got this book right here handed to me.
Oh, yes, sir.
By Mother Diane Gordon. She said, go do your research.
That's right.
Okay, well, I don't know what to do. And I flipped through the book and all of that. And, there was things that I learned from the book, but there's things that helped me more outside of this book. And that was with the help of you. Of course, you were one of the big helps. You kept me sane. You kept my sanity.
Yes, sir.
I'm so serious.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And then also to the Kwanzaa Committee of 2023-2024, we got some new faces. We have some new ideas, some fresh committee members. So I'm excited because we all know that Kwanzaa is once a year, 7 days out of the year. Right. But my initiative within my leadership, I want to bring about working with Toledo Kwanzaa House all year round. So like MLK brunches, galas, you name it, just to get out there into the community and know what it is that we stand for. A lot of times people say, well, what's Kwanzaa? And they don't know what Kwanzaa is.
I get a lot of that.
Right. So I had to reiterate a lot that Kwanzaa is not only a celebration, but it is not a religion. This is a celebration of our ancestors, of our past. And I always put at the end of that, this is a celebration of our mistakes. And I say that because in order to move forward, we have to remember our mistakes. What did we do? Where did we come from? And how do we move forward and learn from those and not make those same things again?
Right. You know, I kind of embrace that, and I like to think of it as research and development. You know, in a lot of our mistakes, there may be some things within our mistakes that we can use.
Right.
Some of the things, and even in our mission statement, we talk about using the best tools and leaving those behind that no longer serve us, and recognizing that we do make mistakes. We do miss the mark, but it's like, how can you make a mistake if you're not even going to try?
Exactly. And that's what I was going to say. I was going to say, how do you make a mistake if you don't try?
Right.
And I know for me, whether anybody noticed it or not, I made a couple mistakes, but I tried. That's all that mattered. Like you told me, I was really wrestling with the idea of how I'm going to structure and all this. And you said, just trust fall, Rashid.
Yeah.
And that was a big moment for me, because not even just in the Kwanzaa realm, but as well as the life realm. We don't take the time to step out on faith, to just trust fall.
Right.
And trust the process. If we don't trust the process, then we're stuck.
That's right.
We're stuck in our ways. But I was so excited. I was overjoyed because I was exceeded within my expectation on what was the outcome. Last year we didn't have lights or anything. We didn't have a jumbo screen. We didn't.
This year we had all the lights. Somebody it got all the lights.
Yes. We
up.
had lights. We had a jumbotron. I call it the jumbotron, but
yes, sir.
It was up there on the wall. Thanks to Brother Donald Lynn and the projector. As well as the seats were filled.
Yeah.
And for me, I'd like to say this is a public service announcement. For me, it's not the seats being filled. It's about whose life we touch. And I feel like we touched a lot of lives. We brought in some new people. We brought in some new ideas and thoughts. I saw some new vendors too.
Absolutely.
What's her name with the book?
Annie.
Yes, her.
Yeah, Annie. And also, I think this was the first year that we had Child of the System.
Yeah.
Jody Summers tables. He had his crystals. He had his books. And at Kwanzaa, we never had that.
Right. He showed up and he showed out, and I was really proud of him. Just putting his stuff out there. And we also had Yasin. He had his anime stuff. I'm new to the anime scene, so a lot of things I don't understand.
It's a big following. And if you follow Imani Latif, he's a local cartoonist.
Gotcha.
May not be anime, but there's a lot of Black animators out there.
I was just glad that he's a Black author,
right?
And that he was getting his name out there, because a lot of times as Black community members, we don't get the opportunity to put ourselves out there, or we'll have the resource to do it, and we'll never take the step to do it.
Annie was talking about that.
Yeah.
Just take that step. And I remember talking to Yasin about his artwork, about his book, about his website. All of these things was in his head at first.
Right.
And sometimes you may not want to bring your baby out because you don't want anybody to judge it. Hey, that's an ugly baby.
Right.
How else are they going to know unless you bring it out? And he brought out his artwork. He even had his cosplay costume. So, and a lot of the young people that saw a young Black man being himself, creating his own characters, also broke that stigma that we can only be athletes, rappers, singers.
That's true.
Right. So that was. I wanted to ask you this. This Kwanzaa was the first time that at the end of Kwanzaa, you stood up all the newer members.
Yeah.
All right. And they were younger.
Yeah.
What was it that you thought attracted a younger group this year?
Well, for me, there is always the process of research and development, right?
Yeah.
And we know that we research within our old committee.
Right.
And we know there's certain things that they can and cannot do.
That is right.
I'm keeping it cute. I'm keeping it cute.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But if we bring in somebody who can understudy them and fill that position once they feel that the time is right for them to leave, because I'm not going to kick anybody out of a position. You know,
Right.
as long as you want to help, as long as you
That's right.
move forward with us and not stay back there,
That's right.
you more than welcome to come on, you know, because there's a sense of belonging. And for me, Kwanzaa is the sense of community, because this is unity. The first night was unity.
That's right.
You know, so how can we unify each other and be in the same community and know that this is what we want for our Black people? This is what we want for Toledo. This is what we want. Did you realize? I wonder if anybody noticed this. I did this very strategically.
Uh-oh.
Did you realize with all the vendors, all but 3 were younger?
I never knew.
Everybody was. You count as younger too, Jody.
Yeah, absolutely.
There was a sense of bringing in the new.
That's true.
As far as the new year, you know, we make resolutions and so forth, but we don't keep them.
True.
I wanted a new face, a new system, and a new process to what we do for Kwanzaa. And that started with our businesses. Our businesses were all young Black business owners. Our speakers,
that's correct.
They talk to the youth. Even though they weren't, you know, I didn't want them to come and tell us this is what you should do, this is how you're supposed to do it. You know, Miss Elsie said it great. Miss Harper said it great. Listen to the younger people, because they might know something that we don't. And that I as 2024, we say we stand on business about that.
Yes, sir.
I'm standing on business
yes,
about
sir.
it, because we have to, as a community, get out of our old habits and move forward into the future. Because when you get left behind, you turn into salt.
That's right.
So
that's right. You talked about community and unity. The Frederick Douglass Community Center,
yes,
Frederick Douglass Community Association, J.B. Simmons Building is where everything happened. And I love the vibe at the Doug.
Yes.
What is it for you? What is it about the new Doug that just has this welcoming feel to it? Did you experience that? And if you did, what was that like to you?
So I grew up right across the street from Pickett School, the old Pickett, before they
all right.
Okay. So that should tell you how old I am. For me, growing up at the Doug, I started off in Head Start for 2 years, maybe 3, I don't know. My family lingered through there. You know,
okay.
Everybody's been through the Doug. But what I will say is, if you notice anything new about the Doug, it's the atmosphere, right? We have set the tone for a welcoming atmosphere. Whereas in previous visitations, people have felt like it was an institution. So
that's true.
Now that we have that institution vibe out of there, we've welcomed new faces into the offices. We've welcomed new ideas into our after school programming as well as our summer programming. And we've also done some things as far as media. So I don't know if anybody knows or not, but we have opened our studio in the Frederick Douglass Center called North Star Studios. And for those who don't know, North Star Studio is representing what Frederick Douglass had. He had a newspaper printing system called the North Star. So that's what we named our studio after. And this is where I'm housed at, and I do my show, Roswell 23. We host all of our shows, our late night streams. We have our after school programming class that does their own editing and YouTubing and set stuff up. You know, we're advancing into something new. And I'm so happy because we're giving younger people the opportunity to do something and go about it greatly.
All right, now I've been hearing a lot about Rosworld, and when you came on, there was people that started chiming in. Hey, what's up, Rashid? Hi, Rashid.
Hey,
no,
everybody.
There was no what's up, Washington. How you doing, Washington? All right, I didn't hear none of that, but it's all good. I know where most of y'all live.
Brother Washington.
Okay, hey, all right, haters hate. That's
Haters
what we
hate.
That's what we do. What can we look forward to for Rosworld? What was it like launching that, having it in your mind first, launching that, and what are some of the things that we can look forward to seeing, not only from Rosworld, but all of the things that the media department, the North Star department of the Frederick Douglass is going to be doing?
So I can't say anything about Rosworld 23 until I make reference to my former co-host, Danny, Delano, Zai. I'm missing a couple people. Zai,
Okay.
and I'm sorry, Tatiana. She might try and beat me up, but that's
All
okay.
right.
But they're really what pushed me to do it. These are my summer camp staff members.
Okay.
They're the junior staff members. But one day I was like, let's start a YouTube, and I was just joking, and they're like, no, let's do it. We're really gonna do it. I said, okay. So the next day I went to Walmart and I went and got the $27 tripod and
Yes,
a
sir.
$12 mic to put on my phone with zero storage.
It's all good. We got to start somewhere.
Hey, we had to start somewhere.
That's right.
But
that's right.
They
man.
pushed
I'm loving
my
this.
initiative, and I'm so grateful for them, because now I've expanded into my first expansion was in the basement,
Right.
1056 Studios.
Hey.
And then I stayed there all but I want to say 2 weeks,
Mhm.
right? And in the course of being at 1056 Studios, I said, okay, God, if this is really you, push me to somewhere that I need to be. I got a call. Hey, we're going to start doing podcasting. I know you know a lot about cameras and all of this stuff. Like, yeah, I come
That's
check it
what's
out.
up.
And that was the moment I started at North Star Studios as
That's
the
great.
director and producer. But I'm just so grateful for the people who has entered the Rosworld 23 atmosphere, just because they're what make it possible.
That's right.
And without them, they wouldn't know what goes on in the community. Without them, I wouldn't be in the spot that I'm at now, pushing almost 500 viewers.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so I'm excited. I've collabed with a couple different Toledo artists. Shout out to Most Wanted. That's
right.
She's been in our studio. We're working on a new project right now. I'll have her come talk about that.
Okay,
one day.
that'll work.
That's one of your things. But I'm just so excited. And like I put in my YouTube description, I said that we are a fresh new look at life, celebrating Toledo's very own entrepreneurs, upcoming artists, poets, business, small businesses, community leaders, you name it. We talk about it. Our mission on this page is to lift others up, giving a platform to partner with us to do great things. Don't forget to join us, and let's stay great. My ending tag is always, let me be great. And I put that because, a lot of times we don't know how to put ourselves in a position and
That's right.
accept greatness.
That's right.
And that's what this platform is for. So a lot of times I may or may not be hosting. I have other co-hosts. Shout out to Talia and Maya and Angel. There's 2 angels.
Oh, okay. All right. That's what's up.
But shout out to them because they help keep it afloat, as well as Josh Cunningham with his skateboarding program through the Frederick Douglass Center. His girls, they have started their own editing. Now, mind you, they're like 7 and 10.
Oh man,
they're doing their own editing. They tell me, take out the ums. I don't want the ums. And I'm like, okay, yes, ma'am. They make me feel, they make me do it all, but they're coming up with some great creations. And I'm so glad, because that's what that space is utilized for, to help the community members think and grow. So, if you want to get in to North Star Studios, feel free to stop in at the Doug and just say, hey, I want to check out the studio. What can we do? How can we help? I have my own thing going on,
And can it hit you up on the Rosworld? Where's all your handles? For the people that are watching us now, if you like what he's saying and if you want to be involved in some of the things that the Doug is doing, and just direct message him.
Yeah.
You know?
So
slide in his DMs. I guess ain't that what the kids say?
Yeah, that's what they say.
All right.
If you want to reach me, just get to any of my social medias. YouTube, Rosworld23, RAHS capital W ORLD 23, or on Instagram, same handle. Facebook, a little bit different, or you can go to the official Facebook page, Rosworld23. So, you know, if you want to reach me, that's a great place. Or if you want to get to me right then and there, see me at the Doug, 101 Indiana Avenue, Toledo, Ohio, 43607.
All right. Last thing before you go, you sound like you got a lot going on. What do you do for self-care? How do you rebalance? How do you bring it all in to be able to do the similar or same thing the next day? What do you do?
So balance is new to me. I've been figuring out how to align myself. Okay. And that comes with a lot of self-care. That comes with being accountable for your actions. That also comes with having a good support team, people that support you, whether that team member be 3, 4, 5 people or just one. And my support team is just one person right now. But
what's up.
She keeps me online. She helps me do what I need to do, and she keeps me on a straight and narrow. Like, hey, did you eat? No. Did you eat more than chips? No. Well, go eat, because you know right. I'm a little diabetic, so I have to stay focused. But finding people that you can hold accountable.
That's right.
And accepting yourself as accountable is something that you should always be able to do. So I'm thankful for Angel on doing that. I appreciate you. I love you for it. And you know, self-care, make sure you just look at yourself. Notice when you're going downhill, because you don't want to crash.
That's right.
When you crash, it's hard to get back up. So those are my self-care tips.
All right. Can we look forward to you visiting us again to keep us up to date with what the Toledo Kwanzaa House is doing?
Yes, of course. And as well as the Frederick Douglass Center, we have the MLK brunch coming up. So hopefully everyone can get out to that. That'll be Monday, January 15th, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. It's a $20 donation, open to the public. But we're partnered with Dr. Albert Earl, one of our board presidents at the Frederick Douglass Center. So make sure y'all come out for that food.
All right. And that is something that I guess I'll tell Jody this later on. That's something that we should be involved in.
Yeah.
Because it's for years we have allowed the University of Toledo and the city of Toledo to take Dr. King and well, yeah, I was going to say and bleach him.
Ooh.
Put some bunny ears on him.
Ooh.
And make him the most harmless, homogenized person I've ever seen. And we push back on that hard. However, what needs to be done is one of us saying, hey, look, let's have our own Dr. King breakfast.
Yeah.
Let's have our own event. Yeah. So that's what's up. All right. I'm looking forward to being there.
I'm glad that I let you know, because as Black people in the community, if we want change, we have to demand change. We can't keep asking for it.
Right.
Asking for it gets us nowhere.
Look, and sometimes you got to change yourself.
Hey, that's
maybe
true
it's
too.
not their responsibility. Maybe it's our responsibility to lift our leaders up.
That's right.
Maybe it's our responsibility to call out the names of our ancestors.
That's right.
All right. So expect me to be there. I don't know what Jody's day is going to be like, but he should be off work or we'll shut his job down. Right.
Shut it down.
That's right. That's right. Hey, family, let's get out of here. This is the CSRN podcast, our week in review. Brother, thank you for
being problem.
Here.
Thank you for having me, brother.
Hey, we'll be right back.
All right.
are back. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review. And I'm thinking to myself, where is my hat? I just felt the breeze. All right.
Always catching me off
All
guard.
right. Yeah, it is what it is. Hey, listen, we are back. This is CSRN podcast, or our weekend review. One of the things that we're going to do right now is go over our community shout outs and solutions. And I really want to my shout out for this week is the Toledo Kwanzaa House. I know we just had our brother Rashid Spencer on. It's hard enough having one event in the city, but to have 7 of them back to back, and back to back, and then end it with a feast, feeding everyone and inviting everyone. That was a tremendous flex, and I was so glad to be a part of it. I was glad that CSRN was able to do some short podcasts and some streams before and after. And also I want to shout out Toledo for Palestine that allowed, and Bebop Records that allowed us to use the sound equipment. And us revolutionaries, we stick together. Sometimes we may be battling on different fronts, but we do intersect where one comrade might see us doing something and they may say, hey, listen, do you need this? Yeah, absolutely. And we'll return the favor. So shout out for Toledo for Palestine and everyone that's doing all they can to make sure that everybody's aware of what's going on internationally, and Bebop Records for allowing us to use the sound system this year. So awesome. Those are my shout outs. And hopefully next week, I want to have some art. I don't know if I have it on here, but sort of kind of shame on me. But I'll start by making sure you get the latest edition of the Final Call newspaper. Black Educators Takes a Stand. And this is how Chicago Public Schools, as soon as you go over and beyond teaching and bettering the school, after you meet that mark, something happens and they say you're no longer needed. All right. And they find a way to get you out of there. And we're standing by this brother in Chicago, and we're standing by educators everywhere that educate our young people only to find themselves on the other side of the unemployment line. So we want to keep you up to date with that. And I wanted to also put forth the Savior's Day. I don't have any artwork on that, although we do have a flyer, but they didn't load it into the system. I was glad when Rashid trained our new people, all right? So it'd be worth something. But Savior's Day is the annual Nation of Islam convention where we celebrate the birth date of Master Fard Muhammad, who is the founder of the Nation of Islam. He is the one that taught Elijah Muhammad, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, who taught Muhammad Ali, who taught Malcolm X, Minister Farrakhan, nearly every great Muslim leader in America. If you can name him or her, it's a great chance that they have roots in the Nation of Islam. So our catalog goes deep, and every year we come together. And we're going to be hearing from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan on the 25th of February, and he's going to be talking about the conflict in the Middle East. This is going to be one of his first, maybe the first statement about that. And if you notice, I've been coy. You haven't heard me say this or that because we were instructed, hey, no comment right now. And I'm a soldier first, so I'm looking forward to hearing what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has to say. Tickets are $20, $35, $50. They are going to go quick. It's going to be at the Huntington Arena. It seats 15,000, which is really not that many. So if you want to if you want to go, make sure you get your tickets now. And next week, I'm going to have some artwork so that we can start sharing that. So I think that's it for now for my community shout outs and solutions, and really once again Toledo Kwanzaa House and everybody, the new young people that joined on. And Rashid, he's off camera, but there was a person that they attended They wanted to present, and then they became a member. I've never seen that. I never. And everyone that joined, I think they were under 40. You know, I'm like, man, just like me. But anyway, hey, listen, it's almost 7:00. We don't want them flicking the lights on and off. Jody, if you've been involved in some things, or if there's some things that you think we need to know, if you can get to yours, and then we're going to get into our 5 minutes of heat, and then we're going to be out of here.
Yeah. So I never really realized how busy I am until I start looking at my calendar. Because for me, it's a routine. For me, it's not being busy, it's living. But I also want to shout out Kwanzaa, because for year number 2, I got to sing again, which is something you probably won't hear on any other stage, because it was an axe last year, and this year I got there and I was like, well, I don't know if I am, and I got axed, and then they changed the script on us, so it was like, okay, we're doing the whole thing, we'll need you. I was like, woo, put my tongue ring back in and stuff, and then as they made the announcements, it was like, and Jody, and I'm like,
now
I'm
we
on the
need
other
you.
side of the room talking about how I was going to perform, then I wasn't, and then, you know, back there again, being that nice chocolatey, velvety baritone voice that I have, was singing the
national anthem.
Exactly. Just something I never saw myself doing. So shout out to Kwanzaa House. And I was there last year. I just didn't have dangly things with me. So the crystals were not part. I was actually in that corner where Annie was last year, because you got your box.
Right.
See, the Black Santa Claus box.
And it was the Black national anthem. All right.
Yeah,
They just gave me a little right. They just gave me a correction card or what? It was the Black national anthem. Right. That's what's up.
I could definitely say I'm enjoying it. I've technically been retired since October.
All right.
So about to actually get back into the swing of things of performing and doing all the stuff. Last year I did 522 shows. This year, hopefully I maybe do only 250. I've staked my place in whatever it is, this weird thing I'm doing. So I'm going to try and relax. See friends more, because I'll go weeks. Literally, you saw me, but I was on stage, or you saw me and I was in an event, or you saw me walking down the street, because I walk everywhere. Sorry, I don't need a vehicle. It was never a necessity.
That's what's up.
But and I travel everywhere. So this year I'm going to try and really knuckle down, work on book 17, figure out what other movie roles I'm doing, and spend time with friends. Be normal, if that makes any sense to anybody. But to go over some stuff, shout out to a couple of things that happened already this year. So I'm going to go through my calendar and say what's up to everybody, you know, put some love on them social media wise, because I can't always be there in person. As I told my friends for my first event, I'm here at the moment, and I wish you much success on all the stages I'll miss.
That's right.
Because I can't promise anything at this point. I've done enough to where it's like, hey, you want to do this, that, and the other? And I'm like, I've never done that before, but let's ride. So shout out to the first one that I've ever missed, the Poets Open Mic at Bucci Mama's. They had an open mic over there to start up the year on the 4th. And then we have the Open Decks that was at Frankie's. So my first EDM show of the year. Shout out to Phil. Shout out to Toledo Rave and everything. Still keeping it going. We were at Frankie's, not Main Street, a little bit smaller and stuff like that. But it was my first time in there since they closed down, and now have kind of slightly reopened with the limited schedule of performers and everything like that. There was also a thing at the Code for a lot of my R&B stars, hip hop stars. Shout out King Black, who was watching earlier. Shout out to you, Low Keys, and everybody like that. This year, you probably will see more artists. Young Chuck already shot me something, so we're going to see about getting him on the show. Boom, Click, all of them. All of the people that you saw from my previous lives of hosting radio and stuff are getting into, you know, no managers, no producers. We're independent. Let's do some radio. And we are the new version of ham radio. For all those podcast people, that's essentially what this is, Brother Washington's generation.
What? Okay. I was going to say something nice about you. Did you know that Becca Shakur was watching us from East Toledo.
Hey, Becca, how are you doing?
Man.
Yeah, she saw my opening to this year, so I have not technically performed this year with the piece called Heal. I'm going to be putting some other stuff up, but thank you everybody that supports.
And she good people too.
Yep, yes, she is. Literally, I also want to clear up some stuff on social media for anybody that knows me. If you hear me say happy birthday, it's never to me. It's like to all these people. I tell around 4,000 people happy birthday a year. There's all the little buttons and stuff that most people don't press. I press them. I've been pressing them because, you know, I always didn't get a happy birthday. That decade of me being homeless, I didn't get one. So just like with my books, and you cannot purchase a book from me without you signing my original, because it means something. It's not just something you can point, click, what is that, Tumblr cup by.
Yeah, we ain't gonna mention the name.
We ain't gonna mention the name.
That's right. We ain't promoting that.
I don't want us to see
that's what's
society and culture or even art turn into just merchandise. It's not merchandise. It's somebody's life. You cannot purchase nothing from me except my books, because you know they're on Amazon and stuff. Hit that Amazon and stuff for my books. But you can't purchase nothing for me, not my dangly things, not my wristbands, not my hoodies, not anything unless you talk to me. And people were like, oh, that's inconveniencing. Well, I guess I'm not the convenience you need, because this is my life's work. The stuff that you get is my life's work. And I want you to appreciate it past the point of a dollar sale or a TikTok view or just something you're going to throw in the trash. Because if I ever see some of them stuff in the trash, ooh, okay. Anyway, now we're going to go on to all the awesomeness coming, because again, we did say it's MLK week. So before I get into the artistic stuff, I want to give a giant shout out to Anita. Trying to toss the ball. So
Anika Fields?
No, Anita.
Anita Lopez.
Anita Lopez, who just became our
Lucas County Commissioner.
Yeah.
All right.
As Central Committee, I was there in the process of this, which is something I never saw myself doing as a kid. But congratulations to that, because now we can also get ready and started for Black History Month, where we will be raising that black flag again for the 4th year.
That's right.
Just a little reminder for everybody in case you're watching.
And you just tossed that Anita thing to me. I'm thinking Anita Baker. I thought Anita Baker, but I'm thinking he don't know Anita Baker. Maybe you need to mention Anika Fields, who comes, who streams with us, and Anika Fields brings the empowerment toolkit or toolbox, and we look forward to talk to you, Anika Fields. Yes. But as for
and what are you grateful for and everything like that.
But shout out to Anita Lopez for joining the Lucas County Commissioners, and
who's been our auditor for I think over a decade.
Yep, absolutely. I think to 2002, if I'm not mistaken.
So appreciate you stepping up to the plate as
the commissioner.
Okay. Yeah, as the commissioner, as our former commissioner retired after decades of service to the city, things like that, you know, could take a lot longer, but we have a budget to secure. It's the beginning of the year, so I'm glad that this process went by smoothly, quickly, and we don't have any hiccups as we're moving forward into the rest of 2024. We are only 9 days in.
9 days in. It's a lot that happened.
A lot that happened between Cat and Aliens and Tumblers and Supermans and a whole bunch of other stuff that I kind of survey, because no matter what, I'm always online. My life is making sure to put good content out.
Yep, and everybody catching it this year.
Everybody catching it. So only 9 days in.
I'm cleaning up my life. I'm cleaning up my life. So, all right.
Seen a thing about poets being mad at that Cat Williams too, because this is true. Industry is weird. Yes, if you are just starting out and somebody that is around you that you are idolizing, I'm sorry to tell you, they will probably steal your stuff. Just being honest, that's how the industry's been forever. A lot of stuff that people are talking about nowadays, like they telling the truth. We've been telling the truth forever.
That's right.
Since I was a little kid, I've been hearing all of these same stories, just in a different context. But, you know, some YouTube, TikTok guru gets on there and it's viral. I don't want to ever be viral. Don't make me viral. So things coming up before we come back, so I can get through this. We can get through the 5 minutes of heat. And I'll have them turning our lights off and stuff like that. if you're in Toledo area, because I'm going to mainly be focusing on Toledo area. Whenever you see me speaking about local and stuff, I don't care what celebrities are doing. I don't really care what much of the world is doing. But tomorrow at 5:25, there is an online. It was, if you were going to attend, it has been now made virtual. Rethinking Jails and Justice.
Oh, yeah, I saw
State
that.
of Lucas County Jails. Hosted by the Lucas County Library. So if you can be a part of that, look it up on Facebook. Hopefully you can attend. This Friday is the grand opening of the Toledo Urban Federal Credit Union on Monroe, which I will be there in attendance.
Right. All right.
Shout out to Suzette and everybody over, I guess, like 1 block away from us here.
That's right.
2 blocks away from us here at the Mott branch. The
Big shout out.
Black-owned branch in like few states.
That's true.
I think he came to
It's not a lot.
Stuff and he was talking about
it's not
that.
a lot. It's not a lot.
A lot of Black-owned banks.
Not a lot. That's what's up.
So also moving forward into the art world, if you would like to hear some open mics, some poetry, see my face, maybe get a dangly thing, and hear Hunter Prey, Sandra Gill, and there was a third person who I can't see on this tiny little screen. Toll House, it's doing its second year because we did it last year, the MLK Weekend Poetry Night. So if you can make it, the tickets are online. They're only $10. Show up. Toll House is on Summit, which is another Black-owned business here in Toledo, Ohio. Great place. I'll be adding another signature to that wall. If you still like poetry, Uncloistered Poetry, hosted by Joni McKentry, is this Saturday at 4 p.m. So if you can make it there.
All right.
If you like that, where are they at? They are at the Peacock Cafe.
That's a lot going on.
It's another Black-owned business in Toledo, Ohio.
I see what you're doing.
And then she has one on live. And then even though we will be back, I'm going to mention this too because I love my friends who love on me loudly. There is the Poetry and Soul Sessions presented by Kay Renee. And this is going to be at the Entrepreneurs Club on the East Side, which is another one.
Right, that's right around the corner from, I think, from where you are.
From me, for where that New Year's video that sounded like the Purge went off. But anyway, yeah. So I mean, it's
okay. I know where that
here,
is.
Black-owned businesses and stuff like that. Since we've been pushing this for a little while and everything, we're showing you them. The reason why you don't see us out there on Black Friday at the mall because there's enough of us now. We just got to come together. Shout out to Anton Parks, who I shared something on our page and on my page that's going up for the concert series. So pay attention to that video. Becca, Monroe is where the old Society or Key Bank used to be.
It's the old Fifth Third.
Fifth Third. That's what
that's right.
Banks change names too much for me. So anyway, so that's some stuff coming up. The Entrepreneurs Club event, that's again just $10. So if you want to show up, there is Liv Hightower and Shelby Faulkner, who goes by Poetess. They're the features, and then there'll be an open mic and everything after that. So follow my page for anything else going on. I'm trying to put more stuff on our page, on my page, and the yearly recap of all the guests we had last year, but also pacing myself. Because if you don't pace yourself, you just become chasing this endorphin of views and likes and stuff. So that's why if you see my page, some days I just blank out.
Okay.
I don't get on. I don't talk to nobody. I don't message anything because I need some real world time. And
all right. Hey, listen, before we take a break, if you like what we do, we just want you to subscribe to our YouTube page, like, share, and comment. We do have our Black Lives Matter signs. Just hit us up on our inbox and we'll get them right to you. We've got maybe 7 or 8 defund the police signs. Those are still active. We've got them. Just get
I got some more too at home.
Oh,
so
you do?
We got
more of these? Okay.
I think so.
All right. I thought we were missing some. All right. I need to go to your house and get our signs. All right. And if you want to support us, you can support us by following us on Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, YouTube, and X, formerly known as Twitter. If you want to support us, you can support us via Cash App. That's the hashtag CSRN 419. PayPal is CSRN 419. And be on the lookout for our new yard signs with our logo on it. So we went ahead and paid the bills early today. All right. We didn't have to come back.
So I got a new sign to put in my yard soon.
Absolutely. Hey, listen, let's take a short break. We're going to come back. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review.
Audio Jungle.
All right, we are back. We're about to shut it down, Jody, with 5 minutes of heat. And we came up with this concept when we were meeting in person at the Padua Center. I think that's when we first came up with this thing that how do we close out our meetings? Do we close it out with a gavel, which would send prison flashbacks through my mind? So we don't want to do that. What about creative expression? So we call it 5 minutes of heat as a shout out to Houdini and 5 minutes of funk way back in the late 80s or early 90s when they were hot. So we got 5 minutes of heat. Jody has been our resident spoken word artist. Not that anyone else can't do 5 minutes of heat, but we appreciate you that you're sharing your skill set with us. What are we reading today?
Today, since this is our first opening thing of the year, we're going to be happy.
Oh, okay.
Now, next week.
That's not often, all right?
That is not often. Actually, honestly, in my collection of poems and books and artwork, there's 3.
Okay.
That start with the title. I have How to Be Happy, Happiness, which came this year. And then there's another piece that I wrote during the 5 days of writing, which is a joke on why I should write happy pieces as a poet. Okay. But yeah, so if you're out there listening, again, the world is stressful.
Hey.
There's a lot of stuff that's going to pull you in a lot of different directions. But there's one thing that you should always remember. You are the main character in your story. The greatest story ever told is yours.
That's right.
So before you get up and have somebody else tell you how you should live their life when they're not even living it themselves because they're asking you to give them money to prove that their theory works. How to find happiness. And the intro. I forgot the intro because I'm going to be doing this when I feature places. That's
right.
So, side note, he said he liked it, so I'm keeping it in the routine.
Absolutely.
But I'm an open book to those that decide to read. 1,000 words to those who've only caught a glimpse of me, and a lifetime, yes, a lifetime, to those that can say they were part of my story. If you are anywhere under the sound of my voice, you are now family, because on this stage is where I leave the most vulnerable parts of myself. And I thank you for listening. Let's begin. Peace. How to find happiness. You have to find it within yourself. Like Peter Pan, Neverland is full of Captain Hooks, but a lot of them, yes, a lot of them look like lost boys. If you don't hold on to your happy, everyone, yes, everyone will try and steal it. Peter Pan, as I've gotten older, I realized he was truly the villain, snatching young children from their lives so he would have some type of entertainment to play with before they were able to learn any survival skills or understand how the world works. He came along to take their innocence, finding the ones young enough to not understand, yes, not understand their traumas, and whisk them off to an imaginary place that feels like nothing, no, nothing bad ever happens, telling them they should not find a solution to their problems and just pretend like nothing ever happened, sprinkling them with fairy dust, giving them nothing nutritional to advance their growth, but telling them, yes, telling them to hold on to this one piece of hope so they can fly away with him. People, problem being, they get older and he doesn't. He's stuck in the mindset of, if I just act ignorant to the realities of the situation, fainting innocent when these boys and girls have responsibilities, families, and pretend like it never happened, it cannot harm me. I believe that they are the pirates who got older and try and save these youth, who are misled by a man that will toss them away when they can no longer provide him with his sense of escape. Then he's off to find a new group of youth, pitting them against the very people who can no longer fly away like him. Neverland is full of Captain Hooks, but if you look closely, you might see the lost boy who was lied to and told his responsibilities didn't matter. The crocodile is an inescapable sense of time that eventually you will have to face your responsibilities, or they will catch up to you and devour you one limb at a time. Your happy should come from experience, not instant gratification from something you never worked for, because it will fade away just as quickly as you got it. Take time to work on yourself. And I promise you, yes, I promise you, it will be the best investment you ever make in your life. Peter Pan is stuck in a loop where he doesn't want to grow up, doesn't want to gain new experiences or share his happiness with others. If you call him out on his accountability, he will tell you that you've lost your marbles and send you off packing so you don't interrupt his influence on others. Captain Hook lost his experience to survival, but yet he still fights for his dream to one day fly again. If you don't find your personal happy, someone will always give you what they can steal again. In peace.
And as always, we snap our fingers. Beautiful, beautiful, brother. And yeah, that's going to be the vibe for 2024.
Yep.
All right. Be about it. And as always, as we close out, you know, all lives can't matter unless
Black lives matter.
And Black lives can't matter until
all Black lives matter.
Justice or else.
Yay, yay.
Peace.